For centuries, the realm of Velra thrived under the protection of the Flame Treaty, forged in blood between the High Kings and the dragon gods of the Skyrend Peaks. They say that when men first gazed upon those magnificent creatures soaring through the clouds, they wept tears of joy, so fierce that the dragons descended from the heavens and bathed them in the holy flames of their breath, granting mortals with the power of dragons alongside their respect and protection. The air hung heavy with ash and the stench of death. Homes were burnt to cinders, corpses littered the ground, and the few survivors were either too afraid or too injured to help. But Cailan wasn't here for their sake. He came for his own. A twisted smile tugged at his lips. So this was the end of the Dragonbonds. If there were survivors, they would soon be prey for the scavenger horde. Tall and lithe, the woman had midnight hair and eyes like chips of ice. Her simple grey travel dress did little to hide her lithe form, though, and the hilt of a dagger protruded from beneath her cloak. "And I am the last Arrowbringer, sworn to hunt down the Ashbringer and put an end to his tyranny." In her hand she held a bow fashioned from Darkhorn, and strung across its length was a trio of arrows tipped with dragonbone. From his nostrils flared plumes of smoke, mingling with the dust devils dancing around them. His eyes burned like molten gold, boring into Cailan, and his gaze was filled with an ancient, terrible malice. If the dragon gods were watching, they had clearly abandoned their people. One thing is for sure, the fate of the realm hangs in the balance, and the coming battle will determine its destiny forever. Or will the dragon's flames consume them both? Will Cailan learn more about the pact, about his birthright, about the prophecy surrounding the return of the dragon gods? Along their journey, they might encounter allies, perhaps other Dragonbonds, survivors of Varath, or even representatives from the dragon gods themselves. These allies could offer aid and support, providing the party with valuable resources and magical items to help them stand against the dragon god. Incorporate elements of Varath's history and culture, weaving tales of the glorious past when man and dragon lived in harmony. For example, will they choose to resurrect fallen allies, or will they focus on defeating Vor? Will they seek out Arian or forge their own alliances? By giving your players choices, you can create a truly personalized adventure that reflects their values and place. Use the setting to create a sense of loss and nostalgia, emphasizing the beauty that was destroyed by the Dragon's Maw and Vortha's betrayal. As your players confront the darkness of Vortha and the Dragon's Maw, they should also discover glimmers of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. By balancing tragedy with triumph, you can create a memorable and emotionally resonant adventure that will stay with your players long after the game is over. Introduce new characters who embody the spirit of Velroth. Perhaps a grizzled old warrior who witnessed the fall of Hearthstone, or a young mage seeking to restore their homeland's magic. The fate of the realm rests in your hands. Are you up for the challenge? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to share your adventures with the community. Who knows, you might just inspire the next great hero. These characters can serve as mentors or guides, offering wisdom and support to the party as they navigate the challenges ahead. The stakes couldn't be higher. The fate of an entire realm rests on their shoulders, and the threat they face is both terrifying and epic. A dragon god corrupted by magic beyond time and soul. There will be enemies seeking to hinder them. Agents of Vortha, remnants of the Dragon's Maw cult, or even rival adventuring groups, desperate for glory. These obstacles will test the party's skills and resolve, forcing them to make difficult choices and sacrifices along the way. The corruption of Vortha, once a protector of the realm, he is now a force of destruction, driven by forces beyond his control. This creates a sense of hopelessness and despair, making the task of defeating him seem almost impossible. But perhaps there is hope yet. What other allies or enemies might they encounter? Perhaps there are other survivors of the Dragon Bond, hiding in the shadows and waiting for the moment to strike back. Maybe they can help Kalen unlock the potential within him and reignite the embers of the Pact. Or perhaps the answer lies with Aerion and her knowledge of dragon lore. Together, they might just have a chance, but only if they can set aside their differences and work together. And if there were still dragons left, they must have joined their kin in the skies. He may not have known who he was or why he was here, but he knew that this moment had been building inside of him for years. He just didn't know it yet. And as the dragon reared back to unleash his fiery wrath, Kalen unsheathed his sword. Yes, his father would be disappointed, but it was his fault anyway. The king had made his choice. Now he would reap the consequences. This was once Hearthstone, the mightiest city in all of Varath, home to over 20,000 people. I have waited too long already, and now it is time to collect my due. It looked like a lizard, only bigger, much bigger. Its scales glistened like polished obsidian, reflecting the glow of the red sky. Sharp as knives, they glinted in the meager light. With every step, the tremors grew stronger, until the ground trembled beneath Keelan's feet. Now it was a graveyard for Kalen Draga, the sole survivor. It was a torture to breathe, to see, to feel the echoes of what had been here. As long as the Pact endured, no evil could taint the land, for who could stand against a united force of man and dragon? But now that pact is broken. In the shadow of Skyran, where the clouds perpetually churned like blood, a city lay in ruins, its towers crumbling into jagged teeth against the crimson sky. When he arrived, the sight before him was enough to send even the strongest warrior reeling. A guttural roar split the air. Something large and reptilian scuttled toward him from the direction of the palace, fast and purposeful. Vortha the Ashbringer, someone breathed behind him. So the legends are true. Keelan spun around, recognizing the speaker only with difficulty. "Who are you?" Keelan asked, gripping the pommel of his sword. "My name is Aerion," the woman replied, hefting her bow. The earth cracked and buckled as Vortha loomed over them, his massive jaws agape, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. "Enough of these games," Vortha rumbled, his voice shaking the very foundations of the city. Kalen met the dragon's gaze without flinching. "What follows is up to you. What will Keelan do? Will he and Aerion team up to defeat the Ash? Will our heroes prevail, or will the dragon god's fury burn bright, ending all hope for As a dungeon master, this scenario presents an exciting opportunity to run a high-stakes adventure for your players. You can guide your players to discover clues about the forgotten magic corrupting Vorthar, leading them on a thrilling treasure hunt to uncover powerful artifacts or forbidden lore. However, the party won't be alone in their quest. Here's a few ways you can expand on this scenario for your game. Don't forget the importance of player agency. Allow your players to make meaningful decisions that shape the outcome of the story. Remember, the most compelling stories often explore themes of loss, sacrifice, and redemption. And with that, you are ready to embark on an epic journey to save Velroth from the clutches of the Dragon S.